Hi, the name's Erik Thor, and I'm here to talk to you today about type shifters. Yes, there are a lot of people out there who constantly find themselves doubting and switching back and forth between different personality types. And a lot of the problem here appears to stem from one single issue. I find that all of the people I know that are switching between different types suffer from this common problem. First of all, overall, they are struggling with evaluating and balancing different definitions online. There are tons of different memes about the different types. You'll find blog posts that say one thing and you'll find another blog post that says another thing. And sometimes the definitions that are given are extremely vague and easy to misinterpret. And a lot of the time, these definitions are highly biased, making one type seem far superior to another. And I know a lot of people out there who are constantly torn between these different definitions. It can be hard sometimes to evaluate and determine which source is the most credible, which system is the most accurate, which definition actually works the best. And what I advise everyone in this situation to do is write down the different definitions you see out there and compare them to one another. What does this source say about introvert intuition compared to what other sources say? Because truth is, you'll find a lot of them are in constant disagreement. A lot of the time you'll find that the definition is so vague it's very hard to interpret. A lot of the time the MBTI relies on blanket statements that tend to apply to more or less everybody. So this is to ensure that even if you get the wrong type on the Myers-Briggs test, you will still relate to the personality type description. So look if the description you read applies to only you or if it can apply to anybody. Learn to see the bigger meaning behind it. Is this a case of basically the astrology effect where something is written to be so vague it is basically meaningless? Another thing to do is evaluate the quests out there. What are the different tests and quizzes? Because a lot of the time the quizzes out there are terrible. Yes, there is no real good online personality test. Even Neil Young's own tests have their limit. We can only guess to what your best fit type is. You are the one who has to make the final decision. And overall, we are not here to tell you what to type as. What I come to learn is, yes, everyone tends to have a natural bias. We all have something we want to identify as. And this could or could not be true. It's possible that you are or that you aren't the type that you want to identify as. But still, with this ability, you can sometimes find yourself getting a little lost. It's easy to have an inner bias to be one type because you think that one type is superior to the other. And what you'll notice is so important is that it's very important that you become aware of your own bias. It's nothing wrong with having a bias. Actually, being aware of what you want and what you need is a very positive gift. Truth is, it's much harder if you have no clue what you want whatsoever. If you find yourself taking a test and you don't know what to answer because nothing feels good and you don't relate to nothing and you don't know anything. Having a bias is a positive thing overall, but overall it can also be misleading. So always be careful. Make sure that your definitions are always balanced. Make sure that nobody out there is out there to trash sensing types, feeling types, or thinking types, or intuitives. Make sure that nobody's out to bash any particular function. Don't become discouraged when people say negative things about your type or about your function. Learn to see that overall it's important that yes, a lot of people will come to have negative experiences about people with your type. It's unavoidable. People will meet good people of your type and they will meet bad people of your type. And so this will come to shape their experiences. Or they will mistype the person. A common thing is when you dislike somebody, you give them a type that you feel very negative about. Perhaps if you start disliking somebody, you will be more likely to type them as a sensor or as a feeler. And this only contributes to the problem, because then you get blog posts about how ESTPs are terrible people or psychopaths, or you get INTJs being shit. And it ends up just being impossible to navigate all these posts without being personally affected by all of this. Reading these descriptions and feeling, but I don't relate to this. I'm not like this. I'm not a psychopath. I'm not a worthless, sensitive snowflake. I'm just a normal person. So try not to get too affected by this. Learn to see when people are being biased, when they are being overly negative, when they are being unbalanced. And always point out when you see a definition or something that you find is incorrect, biased, or negative, overly negative. Thank you all for watching this video.